Hey everybody, thanks for being here. This week we're in Northern California on Lake Oroville for rainbow trout and Landlocked King Salmon. Brought to you by Corning Ford, Procure, Clackercraft, P-Line, Max Lure, Fishfield, Brad's Fishing, Valley Marine, Foley's Fishing Charters, and Fishang Products. Now, if you want to learn how to catch more fish, stay tuned. I'm Justin Wolf, and this is Angler West Television.
Oh, I love the wind. So normally on Oroville, we get this down valley wind that blows on down the river arms, both the north and the middle South Fork canyons. It blows across the top of the dam. We're going to get this wind and it establishes for a couple of days. It pushes the fish, it pushes bait, and the fish follow the bait. So the dam area will be a really good place to start fishing, and that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to be running 360s. This is the flasher, 360 flashers. Salmon love rotation more than like a dodge type movement. So plus it attracts fish from a real far distance away, and we're really deep right now, anywhere from 80 to maybe 110 feet. We got to be running a hoochie. They happen to be P-line hoochies, generally in whites and greens, but don't be afraid to experiment, because I found these salmon can sometimes take pinks and a variety of other colors, blues. So, but that's generally what we're going to start with. We've prepared some anchovy pieces that we filleted off of an anchovy, and we just salt these down. Sometimes I'll run some scent or on in there, generally like a krill scent, either krill powder or krill gel, and we'll mix that on up there. Let it sit overnight. You want this to cure up just a little teeny bit. We're going to hook it only on the first hook. I don't put it on the back hook. I want them to not even think about the back hook. I want them to think about that first hook. That way that back hook will catch them somewhere else in the back of the jaw, and he'll focus on hitting just the first one. But that little bit of bait, I've got a lot of guys that don't even run the bait. I can't stand running without it. So to add it is like too easy, not for it to be down there. I just feel like I'm not putting all my effort into it that I could. We run the same thing on the other side. We got to run 2 flashers and 2 dodgers. The dodgers are going to be up high first thing this morning for rainbow trout, but our flashers are down there for the salmon. So on our second lure, we're going to be running a little bit higher, and we're going to go for rainbow trout with this. We're going in with a micro hooch. Same colors again for the trout as you do for the salmon. 5.5-inch sling blade or dodger. Again, piece of anchovy, and it's ready to go. So on the other side, we're going to be running again a 5.5-inch sling blade, as well as a Brad's Skinny Mini. Now on the Skinny Minis, they break apart. You can load them up with tuna as well, or some other type of bait fish. You can run anchovy in there, tuna, sardine. This one right now just happens to be, we're not going to stuff it full of anything. We're just going to put a little piece of anchovy on the backside for starters.
What do you want to go on this one?
60.
60?
Yeah.
This is a must-have on this lake. Must-have.
You see the bait ball right here? All about 90 to 100 feet. This is a giant bait ball. That's what we want to see. Fish will be on that. They might not be on it right now, but they're going to come to it. Some point of today, I'm going to have fish on that bait ball. Windy days like this, the north wind is probably the hardest one you can fish. It always seems to shut fish down. A little bit of north wind's not too bad, but it's been blowing like crazy here the last couple of days. And so you can have a great bite one day, and then the north wind hits you and it just shuts the fish down for a day or two until we get that barometer change, and then they usually come right back on up. But hopefully this will be an exception to the rule today. And watch so if you watch this one, you're gonna see if I have bait on in here, that's where you're gonna see your marks as well, Tate. Oroville's known for its pond smelt. That's the bait that we have in here. It's about 2.5 inches long on the adults, and that's the ones that we want to see fish for. Those are the ones the fish prefer to eat. But there's also some bait that's going to be a lot higher in the 30 to 40 foot range, and they're this year's hatch. They're only got to be about 1 inch to 1 inch, maybe 1.5 inches long, but they're got to be as thick as can be. And the fish will switch over to those later on when they can't find these big adult ones anymore. As long as I have that big deep bait down there. That's down in 55, 52, 53 degree water down there. That's perfect salmon water. A lot of times on my electronics, I can't see the salmon. So what I do is I look at the bait to see how it's forming. If the bait is scattered and loose, looks like just like little snowflakes down there, it generally means there's nobody on it. No fish are feeding on it. But if they're getting fed on, that bait pulls together and it'll get really dense into a ball, and it'll even sometimes form a funnel looking shape. If I have those two shapes, I know fish are on there eating that bait. We're gonna switch on over to a little bit smaller bait. This is called a Brad's Kokanee plug. Chartreuse colors and silver, greens are a great color for salmon. They really enjoy those colors. They'll chase those ones down. So I really love this one right here. Now we've stuffed them with tuna, and he is ready to go. We'll still run a piece. There's a fish. Stay out on that side for a little bit, Tate. Stay out on that side for a little bit. Okay, there you go. Now bring it. Just let him come on up so you swing out over at the top of that other one. Now you should be able to start to swing. There you go. He's all yours. And how do you like that? That was pretty good timing. Pretty timing. Since when I was getting ready to leave and call it good.
Welcome back to Lake Oroville. I'm Justin Wolf. We've started near the dam with guide Brady and his friend Take Sandrowski, fishing for rainbows and Landlocked King Salmon that grow fast, feeding on the schools of pond smelt. And we've got our first hookup of the morning.
So the one thing you don't want to do when you're fighting a salmon or a trout or even a kokanee is stop the boat, keep power going. Doesn't mean you have to go racing, you can slow it down, but keep moving forward. It keeps the fish back behind the boat, especially on the salmon, because they love to dive down deep and then they'll wrap you up around all your gear. Also on the salmon, that water that they're down into is like 50, 51, 52 degrees. They're coming up in water that's 75. When they hit that 75-degree water, it takes their breath away. So it slows them down. But they'll get their breath back and then they're gonna kick your butt. Here's a nice rainbow.
Yep.
Now just give me a lift. A lift. There he is. And there's our rainbow. So that was our fish that we probably seen at about 60 feet.
Is that one of the Eagle Lake ones?
Yeah, that's an Eagle Laker.
They put Eagle Lake trout in here last year in lieu of salmon because of a disease issue at the hatchery. So they put 25,000 Eagle Lake trout in the anywhere from 6 to 10 inch range. This happens to be one of them. So a traditional rainbow, I would typically let it go. However, this one, I've heard they're outstanding table fare, and I want to try one out of this lake.
So we just popped another fish. As I was coming on up, we were letting the dodger come up to the surface. He hit it about 10 feet under the surface, right back behind the boat. We okay? You ready? So when we're fighting the fish and we're bringing them up back behind the boat, I like to keep my rod tip close to the surface and reel them on in. Because right here at the end, I'm going to have this lift the rod. That brings the fish to the surface, so the net goes right underneath them. Another fish, another nice trout. Now this guy came on a micro hooch and a 5.5 inch sling blade. So these are no longer what we call dodging. They're not working back and forth. These are actually rotating because we're going fast enough to, so they're rotating on us right now. Our leader length is about 15 to 18 inches. So I set it back just a little bit further on for trout and for salmon. If I was kokanee fishing, I'd have this a little bit tighter, maybe 12, 14 inches. Jump out of here, we're at the dam. So we're gonna hit up the North Fork arm of Lake Oroville to another location where we've been doing a little bit more salmon catching. We'll come back down here later on this afternoon and see if we can pound on it some more. But right now, I gotta go. It's always good to have 2 or 3 spots that are holding fish for you. Maybe the first spot doesn't hold them, your second spot does good, or your third spot does good. But on this lake, you're gonna have to move around.
No breeze.
No breeze. It's all right, we're early enough still. All right, we just hit our next destination. We're gonna dump in here real quick. We don't have much time. No breeze. We got 85 feet on our deep rods. That's the ones we're running the 360s on. And we're gonna go 65 on our smaller dodgers that are running a 5.5 and a micro hooch, and we're gonna be running a Brad cut plug on one as well. Our running speed's still gonna be anywhere from 1.8 to about 2.2. So we're gonna try out a little bit slow and then we'll speed it on up. Salmon are pretty fast. I've been as fast as 2.5 to 2.8 for salmon. on these 360 rollers, just cooking through the water, and you know, that's the speed they wanted. So don't be afraid to vary your speeds. You might find one that is the one that they want, and so move it around a little bit if you're not getting bit. Most of you guys are running a release that looks like this. We call it like a clothespin. Myself, I like running a release. They call these a Chamberlain. They're a little bit easier to adjust. I don't get the false releases, especially at these big speeds on these 360s. They'll have a tendency to pull through those clothespin type. So these ones hold it much better. It's a simple design. Takes a little to get used to. You got an adjustment screw on this one side. That adjusts how much of a hit I can take before this has got to release and come off. So I can adjust these pretty tight so I don't get a false release on those bigger flashers. Come on in. Go kill us a salmon here now. We got no wind in here right now. The sun's coming on up and the salmon do not like sunlight. Got one fish right here. He's just above the bait ball, about 70 feet. I'm gonna see if we can grab that one right there.
We've run up the North Fork of the Feather River arm of Lake Oroville looking for salmon and trout, but dead calm conditions combined with a rising sun present a challenge. Regardless, finding fish and putting the right lure in front of them can draw a strike.
So we just picked one up on a cut plug. That was about 65.
There he goes.
There he goes. That's a good one. About 65 feet down there. Whoa! Out of the water! Whoa! Out of the water again! Whoa! You still got him?
Oh yeah.
Holy man, that's a cooker. Yeah, just adjust as you need to, Tate. Yeah, just let him go. He wants to go. That's a heck of a fish.
I can't stop him, dude.
Huh?
Keep going.
He's still going. It's a big fish.
Uh-oh.
Looked like a big old bow. Oh no, he's gone.
He's gone.
He's gone. That was the end of that. Yeah, keep him tight just in case. That doesn't look good.
No, it does not.
No, he's out.
God, that was fun though.
Son of a gun. Sometimes they win. I thought you lost him when he came up on that last go.
Faulty angling skills.
Huh? All right, how's our plug look?
Springer zinger.
Okay, so that was a 65 footer on a Brad cut plug. And so that's the Kokanee cut plug. So it's about 2.5 inches long. We got that guy stuffed full of tuna with a piece of anchovy on the back. And that fish was just a little too hot to handle. We could blame it on the, you know, the operator there, but
I would.
I think he just kicked our butts. That's what happens. He was out of the water a couple of good times. We're gonna make one more pass on this group that's on in here. We got great bait and stuff in here, but the water's just flat, no wind. And other than that one rainbow bite, that's been it. So we got too many places to go and look, and we're gonna go look for another one. Our next spot, came back out into the main body a little bit more. Still on the North Fork arm, but closer to the main body of the lake. We got a little bit of chop on the water here, not much, but hopefully it'll pick up some more. We use CXP line. We run 15-pound test on our leader material, and then 15-pound even on our mains. A lot of guys want to come on in with like 10-pound test or whatever on your leader material. I got news for you. On these bigger salmon, big trout, you're gonna bust those things off. You gotta break the leader entirely, or you gotta lose the tail hook. Happens a lot. So beef it up. Fish don't care. They're not line shy down there. So that's what we go to, is the P-Line CX 15-pound test for our mains and leader material. We've got to try a little bit shorter. So we're going to come on into about 18 inches. We generally like to be about 28 to 30. I'm going to just got to be moving this hoochie around really, really fast. Try to get a reactionary bite out of them because they seem to be just all locked up right now. So we're just trying to a few different things to get him to fire off on us if we happen to drive over one. Might not be too interested in eating, but he'll still come out and grab it. Ooh, that's some head shakes.
Head shaker.
A lot of wind. Wind makes it tougher. Makes it tougher on me.
He's easing his way up.
Yep. Let's keep easing him that way.
Let him do his thing. He's going to get in that warm water and take off again.
Let him do his thing. That's what we want. All right, there's another lure ready to go. We are doing some grinding.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's what you got to do to get a fish to bite, though. I know it's tough on equipment, guys, but go to a stick weight.
Nice king.
Okay, swing it on the other side. Swing on the other side. You're gonna have to swing around all the way around. You're gonna have to swing. Oh,
Trout.
There we go. Trout, big trout. Ready? All the way down. Right here, up. There he is. Oh, nice trout. There we go, guys. Nice 3-pounder right there. Still looking for our salmon, but we'll take a trout any day. So a lot of times we'll put a tape to the back side of the Dodger as well as the front. And most of the Dodgers have got to come with taped on just one side, and that's fine. Just grab yourself. There's a lot of places now that are selling the tapes. I usually use a silver or a gold or this moon jelly type on the back side of the Dodge. Just gives me some more flash. Brings the fish on in. We notice a little bit of a better bite with that on there. So super easy to do. Just can do it yourself.
We're going back to Lake Oroville, but first, here's your Fishfield tackle connection. Now, there's no doubt that Hoochies can be extremely effective for trout and salmon, and you want a variety of sizes and colors. Fishfield.com's got a great variety from lots of different manufacturers, but check out the Fishfield branded Hoochies. They are really good quality, different sizes from micro to 5-inch or bigger, and they will catch you some fish. Now also, for just basic trout and kokanee fishing, if you're having trouble tying up those double hook rigs, no problem. Go to fishfield.com and check out the trout and kokanee leaders. They're pre-tied 2-hook rigs ready to go. They are really good quality hooks too. So let's go back to Lake Oroville and see if we can hook up some of those salmon.
Marking a few fish down there at about 88, 89 feet, just within a foot or two of the bottom. Just can't get them to pull on up to grab us right now. But at least we're marking fish. You mark fish, you better stay in that area. There's a good chance that guy's got to come up and finally take you.
He's there. He's there.
Okay, stay over there. All right, up and over we come.
Good?
Yep.
Yeah, he's pulling
clear.
good.
Yeah, he's going. You might have this one too taped, but don't even worry about mine. Just fight the fish.
There he goes.
There he goes. And there he goes. We're fighting some brutal wind.
Yeah, this one's, he's gone, man.
So he's up in that hot water right now. He don't like it.
Not liking it.
He's not liking it at all. But at any time now, he can decide he is out of here.
Pretty nice fish.
And so you want to be really quick on the rod here. We're going to get a net here. Come around that rigger, go a couple steps towards Justin. Good. Right there.
Forked tail. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah. Right down, stay low, stay low. Right here. Ready? And there's our salmon for the day. Look at that. Now that's a nice fish. Huh? That a pretty one or what?
Excellent.
About 4 pounds, maybe 5. Maybe these guys are starting to come up for us, huh? Look at that. That's a pretty fish right there, guys. We hit a P-line hoochie right here. And I really like these hoochies that have the red gills on them. You can see the red gills on the P-line right there, and they've got glow eyes. So this is what I look for. You end up just a white or clear, sometimes blue. But that's a typical salmon for us. We got to get a lot bigger than this. We got fish going up over 10 pounds now. So we're going to go see if we can find one of those. If you don't get them first thing in the morning, don't be leaving right away. They'll come back up and feed throughout the day. And one of the times that I love to be on the water, especially if I got a little bit of wind like we got right now with this little white cap chop going on. It's about 9:30, 10 o'clock, we usually get onto another bite. It's generally not as strong as the morning bite, but if you have no morning bite at all, that 10 o'clock bite might be your saving grace right there. For us, I'm hoping that's exactly what it is.
That hoochie was loaded up with this, as always. Gotta have it. Take your hoochie. You don't need much. Little dot in there like that. just what you need. So that salmon life cycle here, 2 to 5 years.
Yeah. I think it's, yeah. Problem is it's the survival when they dump them in. The May survival rate is terrible. When they were dumping in late October, that survival rate was incredible.
There he is. We got one going.
He's going.
Yeah, he's just look.
Yeah,
he's
going. I'm going to kick it out to the outside here.
Yeah,
Just follow it around. Yeah. That one hit at 90 feet. He's on a 360 roller and another P-line white hoochie. There you go.
There he's there.
There he is. Tighten it up if it needs to. A little forked tail on him. That looks like a little salmon. Ready? Right here. A little straight up now. Straight up. Straight up. There he is.
That's salmon. Nice one.
Yeah, but that's only a 2-year-old there. That's a younger one. The ones that went in this year, next year at this time will be 12 to 15 inches. Generally, we'll start looking for them just to come out and goof around on the lake, you know, about December, end of December, and just, you know, see what we can catch. And I should be catching, if our plant was successful, I should be catching salmon in the 12 to 15 inch range then. And those will be our fish, you know, June and July, that'll go that 16 to 18. With an occasional fish like that guy who makes it, that'll be a nice 5 or 6 pounder. And if we have anybody who makes it, you know, again, 3-year-old, those are 8s and 10s.
Hey, I hope you found today's episode valuable and it helps you catch more fish. And be sure to watch this episode again, plus hundreds of other episodes on the Angler West TV YouTube channel. Plus, follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And remember, without our sponsors, there is no show, so please thank them when you can. Now, get out there and do some great fishing.